Those of you who saw my recent community post know that I have had COVID recently. I still am kind of experiencing some of those symptoms. So I thought now would be a great time for me to try out the wash now, style later routine because I really just haven't felt like doing much of anything to my hair. So I already washed my hair last night. It's nice and clean, and I just basically kind of let it dry on its own after wrapping it in a towel, a terry cloth towel, because I'm not worried about my hair getting damaged from it. I do have coarser hair. It takes a lot more than a terry cloth towel to make it break or cause any damage. It's just too strong for that. So I don't worry too much about wrapping it up in a terry cloth towel if I'm not going to be styling it right away, curly or whatever. So I did that, and then I just let it dry. And usually what I do is I kind of keep shaking it out as it's drying in order for it to actually dry faster and get dry within the same day, because I do have a lot of hair. So after that, then I just put it up in a bun, and I now have some kind of craziness going on, but that's okay. We're gonna be styling it today. And now what I've seen a lot of people do is actually just grab the spray bottle and like start wetting everything down. And as I mentioned, I do have quite a bit of hair, so I don't see that very evenly saturating my hair. So I'm actually gonna do it section by section how I normally style it. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I did yesterday, after washing it, I sprayed in some of the keratin hyaluronic acid detangling spray. It's got a heat protectant, UV protectant, and lots of protein. It's just a really good all-around spray. It does more than just detangle. So I did put that in my hair, and I'm just gonna go ahead and section my hair off like I normally do, and then I'm gonna wet down each section individually as I go along and style it, versus trying to wet my overall hair and then having to go through each section and wet it down even more to make sure it's evenly wet throughout. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And before I wet each section down, I am gonna go through and dry detangle my hair, because your hair is actually strongest when it's dry. So we'll make sure that all the tangles are out before we get it wet. And I just have a regular old spray bottle, and I will go ahead and get my hair wet and brush that through just to make sure that it is evenly wet. Otherwise, we're going to be producing kind of uneven results. And I already have a very uneven curl pattern to start with, so let's not encourage that. And same again on the other side. Okay, that is my hair pretty much evenly saturated on both sides. So I'm gonna add in my curl cream, and today I'm gonna do the Verb curl cream. And for whatever reason, I stopped using this for a little while there. I think it's just because I forgot about it, or I was trying out so many other things, and I forgot how amazing this stuff is. So I'm gonna start off with just a small amount, a very small amount, because a little bit of this does go a very long way. And if you use too much, you will feel it. It'll be kind of gross. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my brush that I style with, and I'm going to brush again for even distribution. Once everything is evenly distributed, then I'm gonna start taking vertical sections of about this much, and I'm gonna brush through on both sides to make it nice and smooth. And this is gonna help prevent frizz later. And then when everything is nice and smoothed out, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trap my hair between my finger and my brush, kind of curve it forward to get some tension, or twist it forward, anyway, and then brush down. Usually I go a little faster than this, but just showing you. And then I just continue on around my head, doing the same thing. And as you see, I'm brushing it out at a 90-degree angle from my scalp. This keeps my hair from getting stuck to my head, so I can get a little bit of volume. And same thing on the other side. Once I'm done brush styling, then I put my hand at the very ends of my hair, and I kind of lift up and gently shake it so that my hair will kind of fall into my palm a little bit better. And I bring it all the way up and give it a nice gentle squeeze. And that's gonna help encourage those waves and curls to form without causing frizz. That section's done. Let's move on to the next one. And the side that I'm not working with at the moment, I'm just gonna use this kind of jaw clip to hold it in place. Claw clip, that's what I mean. a claw clip. I'm going to use the claw clip to just hold onto it so it doesn't mix in with the wet hair. And again, we're going to wet this section and brush the water through, make sure everything's nice and completely saturated with water. And about that much of the curl cream for this side here. And I start by putting it in my mid-lengths down to my ends, and then with whatever is left on my hands, which when you emulsify like this, you wind up with a little bit more. Then I start kind of bringing it up to the roots. I don't want a whole lot up there, but I do want some up there. And more brushing to go ahead and make sure that that is evenly distributed. And I'm going to continue brush styling the same way that I did before, except for I'm not going to toss my hair over my shoulder to mix in with the rest of my hair. I'm going to leave it hanging down so that I can scrunch just this and not disturb the rest of my hair at this time. That already has been scrunched and done. Okay, and this side is done, and you can see the curls and waves already starting to form. So we're just going to do the same thing, put it in the palm of my hand, bring it up all the way to the roots and give a nice gentle squeeze. I'm gonna go ahead and do this other side exactly the same way, and then I'll be back to show you the top. All right, and here we are at the top section, and I'm gonna actually make this into 2 sections just to make working with it a little bit easier. And as you can see, I just put this claw clip here to hold it kind of off to the side. I don't want it on top because it's just gonna get in the way. It's in the way right now, but it would be more in the way if I put it on the top. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my water and start spraying, and I'm definitely making sure I get my roots, because I know that my roots, after they have dried a certain way, are not going to want to do anything other than how they dried unless they become fully saturated. So I'm really making sure I get my roots. And that part is fully saturated, so getting another little bit of the curl cream and going to go ahead and apply it again, brush it through to evenly distribute, and then I just temporarily twist this to kind of hold it all together and get it out of my way while I brush this one through. And again, I'm brushing on both sides, and I'm brushing it at a 90-degree angle-ish as far as I can tell, because I can't see it from the back of my head. Give it a little bit of a shake, and it is gonna fall on top of the rest of my hair. It's gonna be a lot harder to keep everything separate at this point, but that's okay. And then I just keep doing the same thing. I grab vertical sections and I brush it going up, away from my scalp, so I can get some lift and volume. I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing throughout the top section until I come to the front. So I'm either gonna do that off camera or speed it up really quick and then show you how I style the front. And for those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle. I'm a licensed hairstylist with over 20 years of experience, and on this channel I use those 20 years of experience to help you have healthy, happy hair. Okay, so as we get to the front, I keep grabbing vertical-ish type sections that kind of go slightly at an angle, go straight up, give it a shake, and I kind of let my hair fall naturally however it's going to. I really don't try to form a part with any of this. It's not until I get to the front that I kind of create a part. Okay, so these are the pieces where I kind of form a little bit of a part just in the front. So I'll grab this section and style it on its own, and then I grab this whole section and style this bit together. And you notice that I do these going forward, and I find that just works better with how they curl. And now that I got the top done and the front pieces done, I'm going to do the gentle squeezing thing, and I'm going to flip over and scrunch so that I can get the top. Curl cream, brush styling, and scrunching is complete. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in a gel, and I'm going to be using a liquidy one, and this one is InnerSense I Create Volume. So I'm going to kind of create a puddle in the palm of my hand. I can't really show you because it'll just fall right down, pour right down, something. And I'm just glazing and scrunching it in, and you can see all the clumps and the curls kind of starting to form. I'm gonna do another little puddle for this section back here, glaze it over, go from underneath. And when I'm going from underneath, I'm kind of getting my fingers in between those curl clumps, but I'm not really raking my fingers through. I'm just letting my hair fall between my fingers so that everything can get nice and evenly coated, but I'm not raking out all of those clumps that I just made. Same thing on the other side, glazing, scrunching. And now that the gel is in, and because I can't help myself because I really like layering multiple products, I'm gonna add in the Trelex Soothe and Restore Curl Defining Mousse. And I put a couple of pumps in my hand, and I'm gonna do the same thing with this mousse that I did with the gel. I'm just going to glaze it over and scrunch. One of the reasons why I like putting in mousse after gel is because it helps to kind of further the definition that I already have going on in there. You can see my hair looks a little bit more defined than what it did before I added this. And another couple of pumps for the other side over here, glazing and scrunching. And with what's left on my hands, I make sure to pat it around on the top of my head because I do want product up there. I just don't want a ton of product up there. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of surf spray from Bumble and Bumble. And then some Surface Impulse Finishing Hairspray. Now that all the products are in, I'm gonna go ahead and diffuse my hair, and then I'll be back, show you the results, and talk about what I think of Wash Now Style Later. Here's the diffused results before scrunching out the crunch. Not that there's really any crunch there to speak of. The Verb Curl Cream does create a slight cast, which is one of the reasons why I like it. However, it kind of came out while diffusing, and that's fine. It did what it was supposed to do. I really like a cast because it helps hold the hair together and it allows your hair to dry while retaining the definition and reducing the amount of frizz. So that's the reason why I happen to like casts on my hair. I just find that I always get much better definition and less frizz when I use a product that creates a cast. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and add Verb Ghost Oil at the very end to seal everything in, and then to just kind of scrunch it a little bit. Like I said, there's not really a cast, but a little bit of scrunching and fluffing at the very end never hurt anything. And then with the little bit that's left on my hands, you can kind of see that my hands are still shiny. There's a little bit left. That's when I start scrunching. Done scrunching, and look at all this volume. And I haven't even fluffed my hair or anything yet. I just have a ton of volume, which I am very happy about. I was a little bit worried about that with washing my hair and then styling it later on a different day. I was worried I wouldn't get volume and that my roots would be a bit wonky. And they're not wonky, but because my scalp is oily and it's already started producing oil since I washed it, I can feel that up there, so I don't have the really nice clean feeling that I get on a wash day where I do the whole thing all at once. So, and I definitely prefer that clean feeling, but it still doesn't feel too terrible. But yeah, I'm liking the results, although I think that the results that I'm seeing are more down to the product combination that I used versus the actual technique of Wash Now Style Later. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little bit of a fluff just to see if we can get any more volume than what we currently have. And yes, we can. So I've got some really nice big hair. I'm loving it. My hair feels nice and soft and fluffy and bouncy, and yeah, I really, really like the way that it's looking. Again, I think this is more down to the product combination versus the styling technique, because I styled it the way I normally do. The only difference was I just didn't do it all at once. But as for how I feel about Wash Now Style Later, if I would do it again, and who do I think this would work really well for? I can see this working really well for people who have chronic illness and have a hard time doing the whole routine all in one day because of energy reserves. They just don't have enough to get through it. That's why I did it while having COVID and experiencing fatigue. I wanted to break it up because, to be quite honest, I didn't feel like washing my hair or styling it. So I decided to give this a try so I could break it up. Now, do I feel like for me personally, it saved me any kind of energy? I don't think that it did. I actually feel like it took me a lot longer to style it today because I had to wet it down first. And because of the amount of hair that I have, that actually took a lot longer than when I wash it. So for me personally, I don't feel like it saved me any time or energy. I actually feel like it goes a lot faster if I do the whole thing all in one go. And then I also don't have to like dread the next day of then styling my hair. But I can see where this would work really well for other people who have a little less hair than me and don't have that problem of it taking forever to kind of wet back down. Or for people who have a lot of hair, but your hair is really fine. Mine is coarse, it's quite coarse. So it does take a little bit longer to get completely wet than fine hair does. So for me, like I said, this saved me no time at all. It actually added time that I normally wouldn't have because when I style it after washing it, it's already completely drenched from the shower. So I do think that there are some people where this would work really well for. And another thing too is I do have my normal wash and styling routine kind of down to a science, and it really doesn't take me that long anymore from beginning to end. And breaking it up like this, again, added more time to that than what I normally do just because I can speed through it pretty quickly. So for those of you who it does take a little bit longer, and if you are struggling with any kind of illness, or if you just don't have the time to do it all in one day, maybe you have small children and you're lucky to even get a shower in, much less style your hair, this might be a good way to go. So for some people, this is really good. For me, this is nothing I'm gonna do again. If I'm sick enough that I don't feel like doing my hair, I'm just gonna wash it and let it just go however it wants to go and throw it up in a bun and call it good, because I just don't feel very well, so I'm not gonna mess around with my hair. Or if I really need it to look good for whatever reason, then I would probably do a more lazy kind of relaxed routine with less products, more like this video right up here. Something that I can get done in a much faster time and just be done and over with, quick and easy, out the door, ready to go, but also not having to deal with it a second day. But as I've already said a few times now, I really like the product combination. I definitely am going to be trying this product combination in the future, probably multiple times on regular wash and style all in one days, because I am really liking the results that I'm seeing here. I think they look pretty good. So anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below if this is something you've tried, if this is something you will try, or if this is something that you do on a regular basis. Just go ahead and leave those in the comments below. And what do you think of my results? Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.